God is calling you to fly over the bullshit. Hear this, excuse my French chosen ones, but it's so imperative that you learn what it means to fly in your life. Because the devil wants you to forget that God gave you wings. The devil don't want you to know what you were born to do. You're literally in the spitting image of God. And God is an eagle in his own right, looking down over everybody who thinks that they are getting away with their unrighteous movement, with the manipulative spirits, with the low vibrations of the world. The devil thinks that his plans is gonna outdo God, the creator of all things. Hear this and know this, chosen ones. You were made to soar and fly over the BS. And the enemy can't do anything to stop you. As many times he tries to throw different darts at you, as many times as he tries to change the weather, change the seasons, guess what? An eagle is just going to continue to fly. You see, when a bird is first born, the bird is just a baby, a little baby bird, just learning how to live, how to survive, with the parent bird taking them on the trip, bringing the food back to the nest, making that little baby bird a little bit stronger every single day. And over time, that bird gets stronger and stronger. And when it first starts flapping its little wings, it might not take off right away. But once it gets strong enough, that's when you begin to realize that that bird starts to take off. But there's one thing that that bird starts to do. It starts to flap his wings. And that bird can't stop flapping his wings. It just keeps flapping because that's what it's there to do. The enemy wants you to feel like you can't flap your wings. They're not strong enough. Look at a bird fly. If you watch a bird, you realize that that bird has the energy, the endurance to continue to just flap its wings because that's what it's made to do. It's made to fly. Hear this. You ever seen a duck? The duck may be quiet for that moment, but eventually, if you pressure that duck into a corner, you have to understand something. That duck is taking off. Because deep inside, that duck is really a bird. Hear this, there's all kinds of birds out there. You even got peacocks out there that fly. Hear this. Some of y'all out there are all different versions of what God created. And God is just trying to get you to just fly. God is trying to get you to see that you cannot stop trying. You cannot forget who He's called you to be. It's always the right time for everything. Sometimes God will have something come your way to pressure you, to push you. When you really pay attention to different birds in life, you start to realize that bird starts to take off when the time is right. You pressure, you put a bird in the corner, trust me, that bird's gonna fly, it's gonna find its way. But if you really watch a bird, their wings just keep flapping. It does not stop. There's no time to think. Some of y'all think y'all have time. Y'all think everything is just Oh, in the right time? No, it's never the right time. The right time is when God says go. I tell people all the time, as long as you have breath, there's always a test, there's always a quest to being your next level, to be your best. Don't wait. The enemy wants you to give up. He wants you to take that pressure as an insult. He wants you to be demotivated. The enemy's trying to deactivate your account of success. Listen, we rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus. You were meant to fly. You were meant to take off. They don't want you to see who you are. They don't want you to know who you are. Most importantly, they don't want you to feel who God created you to be. Because it's not on the outside. Things may look a certain way right now. Things may look, and the enemy may try to make you feel a certain way right now, because this is the world that we're in. This is the world that the enemy is bound to. But understand, trust me, what's inside of you is from God. You're meant to fly in the field that God called you to fly in. You were meant to elevate regardless of the lies that they told on you, of the lies that the enemy tried to place into your subconscious mind, of the lies that people try to put over your thoughts, because they were insecure, because they were stuck, and they didn't want to accept the fact that your potential was amazing. There was a lot of things that they just didn't want to accept. They think you just got one thing going on. They didn't realize that God had multiple things going on with you in your life. You were just taking that time to evaluate where you were at in life. God was teaching you about who you are. Sometimes you got to go through the pressure. You got to feel the wind. You got to feel the rain. You got to feel the different storms and precipitation before you get the confidence to lift your wings up and keep flying. You think that birds don't feel the pressure when them storms starting to hit? Some of these birds, they can't last. They ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna get up there with them eagles. Chosen ones, you're an eagle. You were meant to take things to a higher level, and you gotta understand and accept who God has called you to be one day. See, the enemy wants you to believe that this is it. The enemy don't want you to know, because they already seen who you were. Trust me, you had different ducks. You had all different type of birds try to come around you in your life, not even realizing you were an eagle. You were just a babe. You were a babe in Christ. You were meant to fly to the highest level and be able to endure all different type of precipitation, different altitudes that was out of your imagination, because you were just used to being around the lower birds, the lower vibrational food chains that was trying to keep you bound to what they was familiar with. But hear this, everybody fly different. That peacock may be beautiful, but understand, that peacock can't stand and endure the altitudes that God has called you to endure. Hear this, when you move for God, trust me, you're on a whole nother level. Hear this, but you remember, you still got to deal with these vultures. You still got to deal with these hawks. You still got to deal with these different entities that's going to try to take you off of your purpose and stop you from fulfilling the mission that the Lord has you on. They don't want you to know who you are. So whenever they seen that potential, they're going to try to make you seem like you one of them. Have you ever seen an animal with the wrong family, with the wrong group? Have you seen a human being? This sometimes you got human beings that used to run around with animals back in the day. Think of blind, look it up. They speak no English at all. Got some animals out here that raised humans back in the day. You should look it up. I'm online, I'm searching online, come to find out this little girl was raised by monkeys. This little boy was raised by dogs, or whatever the case is. Hear what I'm telling you? No, you probably don't see that much like nowadays in probably not in, you know, in the city and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, in certain parts of the world, there was certain people that was believing they was something that they not. But when you be who it is that God created you to be, and you embrace the inner chosen one that's inside of you, they're going to be so upset that they can't reach you in that altitude that God has allowed you to reach. You were afraid because you were just a little baby. You was a child. You was an angel. Whatever field you're in, it's going to take time. You're going to go through different seasons. You're going to go through different environments. You're going to meet different people. You're going to meet different tribes that's going to try to get you to be a part of their tribe. But you're not meant to be a part of their tribe. You're meant to fly alone. You're meant to be that eagle that God called you to be. Of course, they're going to doubt you. Of course, they're going to talk down on you and make it seem like you're somebody that you're not. But one thing you must understand. When it's time to step out and come out from amongst them, oh my gosh, you will see what you're capable of doing. You will see what God called you to do, and God will remind you naturally. It's inevitable, because God's love is infinite. There's always going to be abundance as long as you continue to be who it is that God called you to be, which is the true chosen one. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be misunderstood. Because most of the time, people that's misunderstood is the underdog. They talk down on you. They try to make you forget who you are. You know who you are. This is why they hate you. They seen where you were going. They seen you had the skill to go beyond what they could imagine, so they were probably jealous. They were hating. They were feeling down. They were competing. They didn't want to see you smile. They didn't want to see you have that joy. They didn't want to see you do them tricks and do them leaps and them turns. They didn't want to see you really get to the altitude that they know you can get to, because they wasn't capable of doing that. They had to stay in the pond with the little ducks. I'm trying to tell you, they were out here Donald ducking. You out here like the speed runner. Let me tell you. Hear this. They didn't even know what they were doing when they tried to lie on you, when they tried to play you, when they tried to dismiss you as if you were not important, when the truth is they were benefiting off of your presence to begin with. They were trying to steal your authenticity, your creativity. They were hating on your peace and your confidence and your calmness. They didn't even know what to do about it. I'm here to encourage you. Keep flying high, chosen ones. Alright, I don't know this message is full, but I hope that it resonates with the right ones. Just righteous water flows. Peace and love. I'm going to get back at you. Like I said, keep flying high, because you deserve to. I'm out.